On the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the produce of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a solemn rest, and on the 8th day shall be a solemn rest. And you shall take on the first day the fruit of splendid trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. You shall celebrate it as a feast to the Lord for 7 days in the year. It is a statute forever throughout your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. The Feast of Sukkot is a celebration that in fact has several names. Chag HaAsif, meaning the Festival of Gathering, expresses the biblical agricultural significance of this feast. Because Sukkot is such a joyous celebration, it is often simply called a Chag, which means feast. And in Jewish liturgy, it is known as Zman Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing, since the Bible commands us to rejoice during this feast. But why are we building these booths, or Sukkot, all over the place during this feast? We find the answer by going back to Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 42 and 43. You shall dwell in booths for 7 days. All native Israelites shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the people of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. The simple answer that God provides is to remember. We remember what He has done when we remember His goodness, His provision, and His faithfulness. All throughout the Bible, God calls us to remember because He knows us. He knows that if we don't take the time to remember, we will eventually forget. In last week's Torah portion, we read about the sad and painful consequences that would befall us if we turned away from God and did not remember Him. And unfortunately, throughout our history, there were times when we had to taste those consequences. And yet, we are still here. This memory has kept us and it is still alive. And therefore, there's hope. On this feast, we also look forward to the future day that the prophet Zechariah describes in chapter 14, when Yeshua, the Messiah, will return and reign. In that day, all nations will come to Jerusalem to worship the God of Israel during Sukkot. Chag Sukkot Sameach.